Hey everyone, before we kick this episode off, I urge everyone listening to like and subscribe to our podcast, wherever you may get your podcast from. So if you listen to us on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating, or also subscribe to us on Spotify. And I urge all of our listeners to head to our website, and you can get more than just our podcast from there. We have news stories all the time there. We have feature articles there. So head to tnpmedia.au. That's tnpmedia.au. All right, without further ado, we'll get stuck into the podcast.
Talk and Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
Welcome to episode 203 of the Talk and Power podcast. I'm your host, Nick DeChembry. To my right, Michelle Morrison. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
And over there to my right as well, co-host.
Far right.
That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Simon Gonzo Travellini. How are we,
Far
Simon?
right, like a Republican.
How are you, Simon?
Good, mate. Good. I still don't understand how this is 203. But anyway,
we'll talk about that in a minute. Hey, if you're watching the video, and if you're not watching the video, I urge you to watch the video. There is, not mine, I'll never have one of those, but there is a gold Christmas tree right in front and center of the camera. Congratulations, Michelle. You are the winner of the Golden States Modified for 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Don't you love eliminations?
Yeah.
Don't you love how you could race your biggest rival in the first round and then he never comes back again?
Yeah, look, I suppose when it does come down to eliminations, and like Simon's saying, I faced Paul Garbellini in the first round. Paul is such a consistently good racer.
Nice person too.
Yeah, he is, and his wife Lisa. They're so nice, but he is consistently good, and it's not often that he will lose a round. And Chicago Shootout round robin racing does give him the opportunity to come back. If he was to fault, but. I took the win in the first round against him on Saturday, which then allowed me to gain some points over him.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. That is magnificent. And, you know, we have had another gold Christmas tree on the podcast before. Funnily enough, it was Paul Garbellini that brought it in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Now, this is your third. You've got 2 national event ones and 1 championship one, yes?
Yes, that's correct. My 2 gold Christmas trees that have been sitting on the mantelpiece since 2015. My husband Trent collected one at the 2019 Western Nationals while I was at home with 2-month-old Luna. So it's nice to be adding another one to the mix, and, you know, they are so sought after, and a lot of racers bring their cars out and race the Golden States and Western Nationals at the Perth Motorplex in hopes of winning the event and bringing home the gold Christmas tree. It is what a lot of racers aspire and dream to have, and so it is an extra special win.
35 years and I don't have one. But anyone out there that wants to give me one, I'll take it.
Do you want it in front of you for the episode?
No, it's all good. I've got tree envy. Hey, just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, I know. So I'll pop the Christmas baubles on there and we'll get it all.
But that is a
up.
genuinely heavy trophy. Like when you brought it in, I thought, when you gave it to me, I was like, man, that's...
Isn't it so much more beautiful than the Thunder 400 ones?
It's a magnificent trophy. But it's so heavy. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
solid.
It's solid.
Solid. It was actually making the passenger seatbelt alarm ding off in the car.
I was going to say, you had to put a seatbelt on it.
And I was thinking, like, are the back doors open? What's going on? I don't know. There's no one here.
Well, I came down on the Friday night, saw qualifying, and you had it fairly well tuned in qualifying, didn't you?
Yeah, yep. I had the first qualifying pass at 4 p.m. and ran a 7:27. There was a pretty strong headwind. Coming back out at 8 p.m, ran a 7:22, but I had what I believe is my best ever 60-foot time, which was a 0.984 to 60 foot. And looking back at previous data, I seem to remember my 60-foot times that would go under the 1 second. They would be pretty hard, wild launches. Front wheels up, sometimes landing me towards the wall, which I would proudly correct and steer back down the straight. But that pass on Friday night was just buckled down, straight, darting towards the finish line.
Yep.
And so, we've made some changes in the car, and recently made a change in the torque converter, which we tested on Wednesday. I believe that's a result of that to really get that extra mile per hour and time increment off the launch.
Well done. Congratulations. You are officially the first host on this show to bring home a cold Christmas
Well, let's
tree.
not just rub it in the salting of Simon's wound just a little bit more. Though,
I always wanted
Simon,
to race.
if you were there, you might have had a chance as well.
Oh, yeah. You can talk to my wife. I think she stopped listening to shows since the last episode.
Oh, no.
Oh, anyways, Nicole, please tune in. I'm sure she's tuning in. Before we get stuck into the Golden States, I just want to recap episode 200. It's going to also be our Christmas podcast episode. Tickets are on sale for that. Tickets are free. When I say on sale, just get your ticket, go to our website or go to our Facebook page. There's a link there to try booking. We have got a special guest for that one there. Brody Zapier, the man of the moment, is coming on for that one there. He had one hell of a weekend as well. So we'll be talking all things with Brody for that episode. So it's at the Odin Tavern, 11th of December, 7:30. Get your tickets. They're for free.
Tickets are limited, so you need to book.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. If you can book, that would be great. And Greg and the team at the Odin Tavern have got meals there that night and drink, and it's going to be a big night at the Odin Tavern. I cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Cannot wait. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for that. All right. Now, back into the Golden States. Top Door Slammer. The Friday night was pretty wild for Door Slammer.
Yeah.
Things didn't. I think Saturday night was pretty wild as well, by the sound of things.
Friday night, I actually had Pino Priolo come to me after my second qualifier and said, "You would have qualified fourth in Top Door Slammer with that time."
That's true.
So,
you would have.
After the first qualifying round of the Top Door Slammers, my 7:22 would have sat me in fourth.
So on that, do you think that the all-run format has ruined the Friday night show?
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of pushback there from Nick.
Well, the thing is, has it ruined it? In what way? The reason that was the results after the first round of qualifying for the Door Slammers was because so many of the cars actually struggled to get down the strip.
Yeah, but
there's no urgency. But
that's right. See, before, even when we had 22 cars show up to qualify, only 8 got in.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it done on Friday night, you weren't racing on Saturday.
I'm just not sure whether cars would, as much as there's no urgency, do you still plan on bursting, banging your blower, bursting your burst panel come through and smashing your front windscreen like it did for Brody Zapier?
No.
I understand that. It's more traditionally you would just put a run down right? You wouldn't go after it. The air was
Yeah.
down to 120 feet, I believe. So, to compensate enough with the fuel would have caused some teams an issue if
Yeah.
they didn't know that they, obviously Russell Taylor and his crew chief, they had it down pat because that thing went A to
Absolutely.
B.
68.
Yeah.
And that looked so quick as well.
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
68.
It actually looks effortless.
Mm.
It's just smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I take your point as well. You make a valid point there. Brody really didn't have to get a new windscreen on Friday night. I think they just wanted to run a lap and see what. So, I
Yeah,
take that.
there was
I take that.
quite a few that struggled with that first qualifying round. I called an early night and headed home to get a night's rest, so I wasn't watching the second round of qualifying. But yeah.
But, a lot of people used to go to the Friday show over Saturday
Yeah.
because the
Absolutely.
racing was better.
Well, I mean, and that's where you would see all of the field.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. It was the fact that they were going to, like whatever they had in the trailer was going on the car. They were going to throw everything at it.
I can't recall whether it was at the Western Nationals or maybe in Sydney or Queensland where I was racing also, but there was actually an event that ran a 16-car door slammer field. We had a huge field of door slammers, and a lot of them would come over to Perth for the Golden States and the Western Nationals, and it was really tough to make that top 8. So for a spectator to go out to come on the Fridays and to be able to see that full field racing, that's what I would promote and encourage to my friends and for people that were interested in saying, what day should I come down? Because you'd get to see the most.
But it was
cars.
also the intensity and the storyline, because you got 20 cars, 22 cars, however many, only 8 are going to get in. Someone's going to be on that bump, and then you're going to be thinking, well, Zap's surely going to get in, you know what I mean? So if he had a bad run on the first one, then there'd be all that pressure going, is he going to bump out whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just kept that really exciting sort of vibe going throughout the night until the very last run. And we've lost that.
And of course, we used to have, there would at least be, I can't recall whether there was an earlier one that wasn't compulsory, but there would be 3 qualifying passes.
Correct,
for door slammer and top bike at 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock,
Yep.
So we have lost that with this format now.
Yeah. Anyway, look, congratulations to Russell Taylor. He took the win in the A final for top door slammer against Brody Zapier. In the B final, it was a win to Andrew Cole over John Zapier, but Andrew,
Which was-
Did Colsey crash?
He
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
after the finish line. He
Yep.
pulled the chutes and it went under the car, and from what I heard and anticipated, possibly got caught up in his brake caliper, but it actually rolled the car and he continued down that braking area on his roof. It was just devastating to see. He's built that car himself, I believe, and he actually on Friday night, or actually it was the earlier passes on Saturday, ran his first 5-second pass, which was apparently just his main goal and biggest achievement for that car. And so to see so much success for him that day and to take the win, but then the car coming to a stop on its roof was heartbreaking to see. But he was uninjured and out of the car quite quickly, and he was at the presentations, and it was just hard to see that devastation.
Yeah. He had parachute problems Friday night as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a few other races. Told me that he was having some issues with the parachutes.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be looking into that very closely, but we really hope that he can be back racing soon.
Yeah, he's a top bloke too, Colsey.
Yeah.
So,
He seems very humble. But I tell you what, he apparently made that 63 Corvette fiberglass body, and
53.
I saw it come back on the tilt tray, and that I love my Corvettes. Corvettes was probably the first cars that really interested me, caught my eye, and got me interested in cars. But saw his car come back on the tilt tray, pulling into to the scrutineering shed, and the front bonnet, I'm sure that had some damage, but the rest of the car, it looked like it could be buffed out. Honestly, I was impressed. I was like, wow, hang on a second. So I had a bit of a laugh with my father-in-law Trev about it, because we made my nappy we did the fiberglass nappy that we made ourselves, and maybe just a bit more and a few more layers. And so when I think of people making their own fiberglass bodies, it was obviously tough. So it was good to see that was still in good condition.
Hopefully we see him return to the track in no time soon. In the C final was Lisa Gregorini over Shane Catalano. I'm not sure what happened to Shane. I wasn't there on the Saturday night.
So Shane put a post up that they'd gone home. But there's a time recorded here.
Maybe you just kept driving it straight through. And I
don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
So I saw that in the.
I guess we'll be able to go back and watch on the NDRC 7+ app and see what exactly happened there.
I don't think it was recorded by 7. I don't think it was. I think
on
it was
the NDRC.
It was an in-house production, I believe. For
Oh,
this one. Yep.
I saw it on my TV when I woke up on Sunday morning, and I don't know where it came from, but
okay, all right.
The girls
Sorry.
rewatched the final.
There you go.
In the D final, it was Matt Abel from the Northern Territory over Morris Brennan in his VT Commodore. So that was the A, B, C, and D finals in.
Yes,
North
and
Centre.
Morris was unable to front for that final, I believe.
Correct.
It was also sad to see the Ray Lecoq and his mighty P76.
That was
having an
terrible.
unfortunate
Yes.
crash.
Yeah, that was a really
Very
bad crash.
hard
Luckily,
into the wall.
yeah, when that hit the wall, I was like, wow, that's It was frightening. It really was.
Yeah.
And there was a moment there where I thought, oh, this is not good. But he was out of that car.
Yeah,
and-
Ray's fine, and I spoke to him briefly on Sunday, and I said, it's time to front over now. That's like, you know what I mean? It's
Well-
the damage is done. There's no point crying over it.
Yeah, well, the commentators actually reported on Saturday that he's already found a new body and already working on his comeback. So
it
it doesn't take long to.
No, it didn't look that bad. It like the front looked bad.
Yeah.
But
beyond
just chop
that,
it off
yeah.
at the firewall and
Yeah, I was more.
Put a front
I
half
was
in
more
it.
concerned for him, seeing how hard it hit and direct through on the nose as well.
Yeah, I think this is what he was telling me is they were one of the early cars that had a crumple zone in them. So on the positive note was that it took most of the impact. The negative note is that it did a lot of damage. But but he's fine. He's in good spirits. So we're all thinking of you, Ray. I know he listens to the show. So
He does. He listens all the time. So, yep, Ray, it was great to see you get out of the car. And, the car doesn't look great. But as you pointed out, if you looked at the car probably from the reverse angle, you wouldn't even know it was
No,
smashed.
I know.
Yeah,
I know the
it's
photos
crazy.
that he sent. I said to him that doesn't look that bad. Like, I know it's the front is bad, but it's time to put some rails in and strut it, and it's done. You know?
Yeah, job done. Yep, yeah, fair enough. In comp, it was John Ferguson over Rick Johns. Congratulations to the pair of them.
Now Rick, he's got a lot more left in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was meant to go and look over his data. We had a chat after I rang him, congratulate him. We had a chat about it. So keep an eye out for Rick at the Westerns. He's looking to step up. Now, there's a bit of controversy that happened in comp.
Mm-hmm.
So top qualified Jet Martin,
Mm-hmm.
they had an official come up to him and tell him that they were going to take the top qualifying medallion away from him, like not issue it to him. because they weren't able to front a first round. Jet's mum is not someone to mess with. Jet's mum asked to see where the rule was in the rule book and made it clear that no one would be taking that medallion off her son. And, he got the medallion, which is good to see because they had a bit of an unfortunate incident. It was an electrical problem that caused it. But, that forced them to not be able to front. But I know how much work they put in, and I know they run on a very tight budget. So it was good that they came out of it at least with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, I've never heard of
No,
that.
neither have I. I was
Never
quite
something
shocked
before.
when I got told.
Yeah, wow.
Super stock, Robbie Gayhorst over Andrew O'Sullivan. Did I see right? Was it only 2 cars in super stock?
Yeah, I wanted to mention this. I think, we used to have a rule, and this is where, Trump's in, people. It's time to get rid of all this wokeness. Let's move on. Let's get back to eliminations and so on. We used to have a rule that said you had to have 5 cars. Right? What happened to that rule? No comment?
I think
No,
realistically,
I found it really unusual that.
I think that
2-car
in this
field.
situation, you have to do what Mal Bully used to do when we raced at the regional tracks, and he'd get comp, super stock, sports compact, put them all together, and this thing about the terminal speed and this and that I hear all these guys talk about. All right, no dramas. Run the 8th mile then. If you're really that worried about the difference in speed at the top of the track, just go, well, you know what? If you guys can't get, more than 5 cars together, I'm going to pile you all together and you're going to run 8th mile. That way the terminal speed's not an issue anymore.
So, Simon, you probably know better than myself and Nick, for those 2 cars of Rob and Andrews, which bracket would you have seen them then be moved into?
No, you don't move them. You keep the points. Everything stays the same, but you amalgamate comp and super
yeah,
stock.
just put comp together.
Right,
You put
with
them
comp.
together.
Yeah.
The argument has been, and this argument stems right back from the Ravenswood days, and it was a baseless argument. We're too fast. We shouldn't be racing those slower cars. The reason that this all came about is because the richer people that had the faster cars were getting beaten by Luigi Coombs on a regular basis with, a pretty basic setup, a flat tappet, fuel-y headed 307 Chev engine in a Monaro that, looked like it just driven out of the car park. And, these guys had a lot of money tied up in their cars and it was just embarrassing for them. So that's how the split started. And since then, they've created this greater and greater divide with the argument of, you think about it, we're doing 200 mile an hour, and if they're only doing 130 mile an hour, we're going to hit them at 70 mile an hour. Well, if you hit the wall at 200 mile an hour, you're going to hit the wall at 200 mile an hour. You know what I mean? So the argument is flawed. The idea is to stay in your own lane. If you lose control of your car, maybe you shouldn't be driving it.
But that was the catalyst for top sportsmen.
Exactly. But the reality was that these people had spent all, and I'm going to make a lot of enemies out of this, but it's the truth. I know some of the people that were having this sook. They'd spent all this money on these really fast cars, and they didn't want it. They wanted to do burnouts past the start line because they felt as though, because they'd spent the money, they should be allowed to. And they felt as though getting beaten by a 1099 car just wasn't for them. But at the end of the day, if you go to America, you go to one of these $1 million races, you could be racing off the foot brake. You could be racing a top bulb, bottom bulb. You could be racing a 1099 car and a 6 flat car. They don't care. You pay your $1,500, your $1,000, your $2,000, whatever to enter, you're up for the $1 million.
You've got your own index.
That's it.
Run your own race.
That's it. And modified is a good example of where this rule doesn't apply.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you went into the speed increments there.
But
I
you
was like,
never hear them say that, do you? I could run 5s in modified. No one can stop me from doing that. I could put the Hemi into the funny car, put an altered body on it, and go run it in modified. I could run it as a funny car.
Yeah, you kind of did. The door slammer ran in Super Sedan.
In Super Sedan, and did a burnout before the start line.
Yeah.
So it is
Even Greg Carter was going 90s, was he?
690s,
Yeah.
Yep,
In sedan.
correct. Anyway, moving on. I just
Move
think
on.
it's very disappointing that they ran the bracket with only 2. And look, Robbie and Andrew are great guys. Andrew works so hard to promote the sport. There were a lot of other cars that could have entered and chose to go into other brackets for whatever reason, whatever there is. There's a couple of local cars that are not racing at the moment because they're ready to go. They don't want to race because there's some controversy over a particular car, and they've said out of protest they're not going to race until that car's dealt with. It's not a WA car, in case anyone's wondering. It's an Eastern States car, but I get called about it all the time, and I'm forever urging him to don't worry about it, just go run your car. But it's a point of principle. These people have been in the sport for a very long time, and they just don't want to run their car. And obviously at the regular meetings, guys like Rick Johns go into super comp because they separate comp from super stock based on whether you're supercharged or not.
Yeah.
And had the old rules applied from the Milosevic era, McClure's car, which also, I believe, reset their national record.
I think so.
I'm led to believe, yeah. McClure's car would be in super comp.
Yeah, it would have been
because it doesn't have a belt, you know. But now the problem that comp's got moving forward is because they've got the what do they call it? Pro alcohol, whatever the
blown alcohol.
blown.
All-Stars.
Yeah, that's it. Blown alcohol all stars. Yeah, because they've got that now, they've really only got a couple of cars in comp as well. So once again, you really want to amalgamate comp and super stock or super comp, top comp, super comp. You know what I mean? Or else it kind of it's why you're running the class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's no offense to Robbie or Andrew. I think these guys are great guys. Like I said, they both, particularly Andrew, work really hard for the sport. But if the class isn't being supported, then you either have to merge it into another class, or you have to. And I wouldn't want to. I love Superstock. You know that. You know that's my favourite class. But you know, when you got a 2-car show, then it's not really. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Comp bike, the win went to Daniel Natalotto.
He's a
Of
legend.
course,
He's
of
just a
course.
legend.
Over Brett Jardina in his Honda. So congratulations to Daniel there in comp bike. Supercharged Outlaws. It was during a day over Casey McClure.
Did you guys catch any of this action?
No, I didn't go on the Saturday.
My pass was just before the Supercharged Outlaws.
Casey was chopping the tree down.
Yep.
I don't think I saw her do worse than like a 60 light.
I-
And then in the final, she went a 107 to Day's 105, which was very uncharacteristic for her.
I was
Yeah.
surprised when I saw that because, Casey is very good on the tree. And, it 0.1 is not.
It's not her.
It's not
She's normally
her.
like 030, 040.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the worst I've seen her do is like an 060. So, but hey, it is what it is.
Top sportsman, we had Albi Bakrinic take the win over Vlado Turic. Magnificent looking cars. It's nice to see Albi's given the car, I don't know, is that a wrap or is that as paint?
I haven't seen it.
Looks magnificent. Is
But
that
yeah,
recent
good to
or is
see.
that have I just not paid attention? It looked different to me.
I'm not too sure myself.
What
Sorry,
colour is it now?
It's like a shiny gunmetal grey.
Okay.
My apologies, Albi, if you've had that light for a season or two.
Yeah, I remember
just-
it being that carbon fibre wrap.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
That
It
I
looks,
hated.
It looks absolutely magnificent now. It looks $1 million.
And modified.
Modified. Talk us through it, Michelle.
Yes, so versing Andrew Frost in the finals, and if you would have been there for the trophy presentations or following along on my Facebook or Instagram, you would have seen and heard me speak very highly of Frosty. I have a lot of respect for him and his family, and going into that final, I know that this is a competition and drag racing's a competition, but I gained so much more out of racing than just winning. From
You
my
can say
family
that because you won.
Yeah, I know, but it's also, coming back, and particularly now, for starters, before having kids, what I would gain from racing if I wasn't winning was fan interaction and spectator interaction, and seeing that, like, I absolutely thrive of seeing the joy and happiness that my car brings, and particularly to the young kids. But now, having my girls alongside with me, my family's making memories at the racetrack, and for most of Saturdays, they were making memories with Frosty's son, 3-year-old son, Leo, and my daughter Cleo being 4, Leo 3, and Luna 5.
Pumping up the tyres.
And it's just beautiful to see. And so I was really at peace knowing that I'd be happy regardless of the outcome. And I am very genuine when I say that. When I saw that red bulb come on for Frosty,
That's a big red. He left on the tree before yours.
Yeah, and he was just... was on the numbers for all of his qualifying passes and for his earlier eliminations. And my immediate thought that came to mind, I saw the red and I just thought, oh, Frosty, you didn't need to do that. And I just thought...
Michelle, sure.
Honestly, it is.
It would have been, I just want a Christmas tree.
It's not where it is not where my mind goes. And even
you're among
Trent
friends.
Said, no, look, it is not where my mind goes. And for those that know me best and those closest to me, I really believe that they can that they understand and see that with me. And even Trent, looking back at the footage on Sunday, I don't get to see how my crew react to my wins, and seeing Trent does 2 jumps in the air, and then he said that he just thought, oh gosh, like, hang on, let's bring it down a bit, because he knew how much Frosty's team would be hurting from that. I know.
I get what you're saying, but he has a right to be excited as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I wasn't the one that said tone that down. He felt it himself, because I know I've got this beautiful heavy gold Christmas tree in front of us, and maybe it's because I've been fortunate enough to have won one previously. But look, guys, this is great. It's not what I do it for.
Yeah.
And so I wish that we could have ran that pass and have it decided on the line, and both be just happy and proud of our efforts at the finish line. But, look, of course, I had a smile on my face, but I went up to Frosty afterwards and I felt for him. I really did. I've got a lot of respect for him. He's a great racer. He has given me nothing but encouragement and support.
Oh, he's a champion. He's an absolute champion.
Racing together in my early days in the T bucket in 2009 when I first started. When he's out of the car, he's an NHRA official, and he has nothing. He has given me nothing but support and encouragement.
Was it hard trying not to smirk when you were
not at all, not at
consoling
all.
you?
Not at all.
Sorry, Frosty.
I didn't. I would have I want it for. I'm so fortunate to be racing in a class that, look, I speak for myself, but I'm sure that I speak for so many of the others in my field. Like, the camaraderie between us, it's exactly what you want from to be racing with. And, my competitors are my friends, and in the first event of our season, on the 2nd of November, I needed those friends because I was knocking on trailers and asking for parts and asking for help.
Yep.
And I counted today, talking to someone, I had help from 6 other teams on the first meeting to get me through that day, whether it was calling on electrical connectors, starter motors, grinding discs. Like, I used all my lifelines, but I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be having an enemy there.
No. There's no place to be having enemies at the track,
That
Michelle.
is right.
Yeah, leave that to me, Michelle.
Yeah.
I've got enough for everyone.
Yeah, and then if you need something, you might just want to hope that I've got a spare in my trailer for you.
That's right, Michelle. Malaga's not
It's
that
a long
far.
drive back to Malaga in between.
I've done it before.
Moving along to Sedan, it was John Sabo. That's 2 wins in a row for John.
It is.
In his debut year in Super Sedan over Denise Down. In modified, I wrote bowl here.
Is that all we're going to give Zabo?
Oh, sorry.
It's,
It's his second. Look at that reaction time, actually. Yeah, you're right. I should have given him more love there. Caught up with John actually on the Friday night. And he's quietly confident in this new combo of his, and he's doing quite well. So 007 there, that reaction time in the final.
Dun, 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 dun,
Well
dun,
done.
dun, 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 dun.
What are you on about? Right.
In modified bike, it was Paul McNamara over Christopher Fryer. Both Kawasaki's there. And in Super Street, Craig Catton over a good friend of mine, Carlo Antonelli.
So close.
Yeah, look at
So
that. I know.
close.
Look at that reaction time. He's
Negative 002.
caught up with Carlo Friday night as well. A big thanks to Carlo. Carlo's helped me out a lot, and he's good guy. Carlo's I call him a very good friend of mine. So it's great to see him enjoying his rejuvenation, I would call it, in Super Street. Junior Dragster, Talia Martin over Brock Ferguson.
Not quite getting the double up for the Fergusons.
No,
Nearly.
no.
So close.
So close.
And I have to be honest with you, this is the first time I've seen junior bike. I don't know, what do they call it junior bike for? Because there's nothing junior about these bikes. This is a serious bike.
The juniors are the kids driving them. I mean,
I know.
I say kids, they're teenagers, but it is impressive.
I think you can,
so cool.
you can start at 10, yeah?
But there's nothing junior about these bikes. These bikes are pretty serious.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by this. I know you've talked about it, and I must be
Yes.
honest, I hadn't seen it yet. I was really impressed with junior bike.
But,
Yeah.
you glanced over JD.
Sorry.
Look
junior
at what they ran.
Yeah, I know.
035,
And against an
809 on an
026.
807.
Yep.
Right? An 026, 807 on an 806. Man, that's
So as
awesome.
a package, I think that's the best for the whole. Probably, I haven't done it.
Yeah,
For the
I
whole
think
event.
you're right. Just
But for the whole event, that's probably
Yeah.
the best package.
the
there.
tightest package was in Junior Dragster.
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
It is so cool.
Speaking of, can I talk about junior? You're right, I did glance over it a bit. One of the things that I saw at this event, and I don't know if you noticed it, Michelle, was they had a camera crew on the start line. They always have a camera crew on the start line, but it was a fixed camera on a tripod. And what they focused on was real close-ups of the drivers' faces.
Yeah.
I don't know, did you see that?
I didn't see it, but they do. I've had someone.
You looked angry.
Did I look angry?
Because you
Oh.
slammed your visor.
Yeah, it was fogging up, and I needed, but I always give it a good hit down to make sure that
It was a
I'm
good hit,
like,
all right. You looked angry.
Yeah,
anyway.
I always give it a good hit, but I had one of my little fans, Ivy, come up to me at the last event saying, "You were blinking a lot." I said to Mum that I thought you might be nervous. So yeah, it's like the fumes, methanol burning fumes that get trapped within my tea bucket body. But yeah, they do a close up. So
Well, one of the things I noticed in Junior Dragster, I really enjoyed that, was the kids' faces as they're going into stage and into full stage. The concentration and the emotion on the children's faces. It's worth just watching that alone. And that's something that I'm not going to mention names, but there was one boy in particular that was really it got my attention on the big screen, and I'd like to see more of that. I think that's something that the sport does need.
yeah,
Marty Murko was another one as well that came to mind. They did it with most of the cars. It's a bit difficult in Door Slammer because some of these, the Door Slammer, they're seated a fair way back, and it's hard for the camera to get a good view of the eyeballs.
left hand, right hand,
Yeah,
depending on where they're
but,
sitting.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
I really love that. And I also love seeing the photos that I then posted after the meeting from the track photographers of then the sportsmanship between the juniors. And I'm often on the return road coming back down after the junior dragster passes, and like seeing them go up and shake each other's hand and help each other take their belts off. It's really cool. It's awesome to see. It's exactly what you want for good sportsmanship for our future races.
Definitely, most certainly.
We did cover junior bike, yeah?
We did cover junior bike, but I wanted to add on to what Nick was saying. I know I'm talking a lot tonight, but it is...
No one's complaining.
It is really awesome to see. You know, I was there... at the Motorplex at the beginning of September when we had 4 junior bikes licensed on that day, 2 of them being Seth Jarvis and Tyler James, and seeing their confidence grow on those bikes and how smooth their gear changes are becoming, how confident they are with their burnouts and even, you know, flaring their back wheels side to side. I've been watching Tyler James closely in particular, and he is a really humble rider, and of course with Aaron Deary and his wife Paige, they're backing him. I am so happy for his success and on Paige's birthday, but seeing his confidence grow on his bike as it's become faster over the few months, and taking hold in the first Goldenstates Gold Christmas tree. It's just really awesome to see.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, congratulations to Tyler there over Seth, and it was a great look. I said I was surprised by that. I really enjoyed that. I didn't when you talk to junior bike, I didn't have those bikes in my head when they came out.
Yeah.
I said, this is nothing junior about those things, but they looked awesome. They're really awesome.
Hey, before we get into the NHRA, have you seen what Alex Laughlin's up to?
No, I haven't.
So, you know, I'm always going on about 5-speed clutch door slammers. He is building one.
Really?
Yep, it's nearly there. They had to custom make a shifter. It's going to be manually shifted, 3 pedals, and the amount of he has just copped it from people on the internet trying to say, right? So this is what a pro stock car's got, okay? Except he's putting it in a C-rotor, screw-blown pro mod car, right? And people are on there saying, you know, give it up. We got the technology now. And like he said, yeah, okay, so you're saying that a Turbo 400 is better technology than a Liberty 5-speed. And I'll tell you what, hats off to him. I wish him every success. I hope he goes and kicks everyone's butt with it. And we see all the pro mods going back to 3 pedals, manually shifted. And he's doing that in the 8th too.
Yeah, right,
Just
okay.
So everyone that reckons he can't pull 5 gears in a quarter mile, right? He's doing it in the 8th. So
manual.
Yep,
Manually
3
shifting.
pedals,
Very cool.
clutch guy. It's going to be awesome to see. And yeah, I hope he pulls it off because I think that's the future. And how awesome is it going to be to hear him, you know, revving up on the start line and like the old days?
Well, I mean, and with pro stock, I know many people in the stands watching, and, you know, Trent's one in particular, you're there watching, but you're actually doing the shift changes with them and then and across the quarter. So to do those shift changes with them across the 8th, that's going to be really cool.
It is. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that one.
I'm looking forward to that, actually. I'm a big fan of Alex Laughlin. I really am. I think he's done, brought a lot of, I guess, attention to the sport when it was needed. Not always good attention, but
but he's you know, the thing. I like everything that he's done, but he's just a bit too clean cut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the only thing. In drag racing,
Do you like us a bit rough around the edges?
Well, you know, I think it's what's made it popular. Like No Prep Kings, for example. Yeah. I think that just being yourself, you know. And he's very corporate, which I think, you know, I hope that he can get a full-time drive in a fuel funny car or a fuel car because I think he's great for that end of the sport. But I think, pro mod door slammer, you got to kind of be, a bit unshaven.
Look, as long as he's being himself and, it's not on show for anything, I think that's just the way to go. Maybe he's just that clean cut kind of guy.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm reading the room wrong, but anyway.
Anyway, let's get stuck into the NHRA. Before we do that, let's play back some of our predictions. Now, I have to do this old school because I actually thought that they would have...
How about we do this and then we'll talk about it after.
Yep.
How's that sound?
All right. When you're ready, fire away.
You good to go? Yep.
Okay, the culmination of the 2024 NHRA drag racing season did not disappoint. To quote Brian Lones, the Fox Sport NHRA commentator, it was arguably the best event of the season, but it was certainly the most unforgettable.
The dramas started in Friday qualifying when the heavens opened up and stayed open. Only 9 top fuel cars had run when it was called. Fortunately, all of Funny Car had been run, with Jack Beckman taking top spot over teammate Austin Prock.
In the fuel category, Sean Reid had provisional pole with a 371 before the rain started. Neither Pro Stock bike nor Pro Stock car had run on Friday due to the rain. Greg Anderson topped the scoreboards with a 6.505 in the third session for Pro Stock, with teammate Dallas Glenn taking second spot.
Matt Smith was number 1 in Pro Stock motorcycle with a 6.72 with a 1. Brittany Force improved to a 3.643 to take number 1 in top fuel. And in Funny Car, Austin Prock rolled off a 3.804 while Caps ran a 3.821, knocking Beckman to third.
Sunday eliminations started with a crash, a plane crash. This delayed racing for an hour and 50 minutes. Then the race that was going to decide the fate of 2 fuel teams ended Justin Ashley's hope, with Brown taking the win. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart, having left the track on Saturday to be with wife Leah Pruitt to witness the birth of their first child, Dominic James Stewart, flew back in time to make it through round 1, defeating Billy Torrance.
Both Austin Prock and Gage Herrera locked up their championships in Funny Car and Pro Stock bike. In Pro Stock car, it was still anyone's championship. After round 1, Austin Prock sealed the deal with an incredible 341 mile per hour run, becoming the first person to reach and exceed 340 mile per hour in the quarter mile during NHRA competition.
We had all expected Bob Tasker to pull the 340 mile per hour pass off after he exceeded the mark during the Drag Illustrated Pro Showdown, but it seemed to escape him all season. The fierce rivalry between the Tasker team and the Force team will be even more intense, as the 340 mile per hour looked like legitimising Tasker's place in the history books. But let the record show that Austin Prock and the John Force Racing team were officially the first to do it during the NHRA competition.
In round 2 of Top Fuel, Antrim Brown once again held his fate in his own hands when he took out Sean Langdon in a pedal fest. This put Antrim one step closer to sealing the deal. In Pro Stock, the main characters all made it through to the quarterfinals, making it impossible to crown a champion.
Round 3 set up Antrim Brown as the 2024 Top Fuel champion, as he took down number 1 qualifier Brittany Force after she smoked the tyres before the 330-foot mark. In Pro Stock, the stage was set for winner to take all final after Dallas Glenn disposed of Erica Enders after she struck the tyres right out of the gate. In the other pairing, Greg Anderson disposed of Aaron Stanfield, making it a 0-0 Dallas versus Anderson in all KB Titan Hendrick final, deciding not only the race but the championship.
In the finals, Beckman faced off against Prock in an all John Force Racing final, with Prock striking the tyres before 330 foot. Beckman taking home the Wally and making it a 1-2 in the championship. What an awesome way to finish the career of the greatest of all time, John Force. 1-2 in the championship, 1-2 in the final race, a new speed record, and the first to officially surpass 340 mile per hour.
In Top Fuel, Antrim Brown faced off against defending champion and defending race winner Doug Coletta. Antron getting the starting line advantage and running it out the back door with a convincing wire-to-wire victory for the double-up. Leading up to this event, both Brian Loans and Tony Pedregon commented that it will take 360s to win, and Antron had not run any 360s all season. Well, he made up for it at the Pomona NHRA finals, running no less than 360s in eliminations.
In Pro Stock Bike, Matt Smith may have lost the war, but he wasn't going to let Gage win the battle without a fight. There was nothing in it on the start line with an 0.25 in Gage's lane and an 0.26 in Matt's lane. But the V-twin of Smith rolled out a 6.705 to a 6.722 from Herrera, giving Matt the Wally and setting up next season to be an epic battle between the four-cylinder Suzukis and the V-twin Buells.
You've got to give it to the NHRA bonus points for running Pro Stock as the last pairings, with the championship on the line in a winner-takes-all race. Greg Anderson was late on the tree with a 0.31 to Dallas Glen's 0.18, but the KB Racing Titan Hendrick Camaro unloaded a 6.501 to Glen's 6.516, handing Greg Anderson his sixth championship by a margin of 0.00022 of a second. My goodness, how do we even say that?
I know, that is so close. That is ridiculous.
8 inches, wasn't it?
I don't even think it was that. It was just crazy. Like to think that the championship came down to, 0.002 of a second.
Five?
That's crazy.
Decimal points? That is wild.
This puts Greg equal with Warren Johnson and Erica Enders, all tied with 6 championships, with only the legendary Bob Glidden with more championships in the stick-shifted class with 10 to his name.
What an incredible end to the season. A rain-out, a plane crash, and a championship decided on the final run of the day.
I think it was an incredible season, to be honest with you.
It was an amazing season, and it ended, in true spectacle that we expect from the NHRA. It's great to see that the championship went down to the wire, especially in Pro Stock, in all of them, with the exception of Really Funny Car was sort of...
Yeah, I mean, the commentary around that, but if you think about it, had something have happened
definitely
to Austin Prock, and had he not have qualified, which, could have happened with the rain and playing, I mean, it's crazy. What a crazy day.
Yeah. There's been events before where something would happen and they'd say, okay, we have to cut qualifying and, the first one or one will do. And if you can't front for that one, if both tyres off straight away, that would have...
Yeah, definitely.
So what our audience really wants to know is who got what right and who got what wrong.
Yeah, an unpredictable season, but did we predict after all?
I have to do this old school because I thought this would have a iPhone plug, but it's got the old school.
You're going to have to play it into the microphone.
Well, let's recall, because...
Have you taken notes?
I know. I know who I was backing, and I did say Greg Anderson for the win with Pro Stock. I was considering his points and his experience in the field.
It's 1 point for Misha.
So 1 point for me, and I also backed Matt Smith.
For the championship. Well, he didn't get the championship. He got the event win though. He got the event. Yes. It was going to be really hard for him to.
Yeah, Gage had wrapped it up.
Yeah, pretty much. If he had have done better, I think it was 2 meetings before where he went out early. I think he went out against his wife.
Yes, he did.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
We've all been in that situation, haven't we?
No.
Yes,
we have.
Let's just play.
He gives her a good bike, and that one event that I lost against Trent, I gave him my spare transmission.
I'm going to go change my...
Langdon can get it, though.
I'm going with Justin Ashley now. Sean Langdon. Mind you, he's probably
You're
highly
betting
motivated.
against Alan Johnson.
I'm going to say this. Sean Langdon's probably motivated more than anyone. That tyre explosion, how devastated was it? I also said Austin Prock for funny car there. I have got... I'm going to have to stay with Dallas Glenn because he was my original on in Pro Stock, so I'm staying there. And Gage Herrera, I'm going to stay with him in Pro Stock Bike.
Yeah, I think Gage Daisy's going to wrap that up. Austin's going to wrap it up. I don't know.
I'm going to say Greg Anderson in pre-stock and like
There
just
we go.
that mental experience with.
Yeah, he's
heading
been
into
there.
the
You're
finals.
right. He's been there and done that,
Yeah.
hasn't he? Yeah. But so is Erica as well.
Yeah, but it's just that her points number. Her points number when, you know, it is 50% bonus, but it's 50% bonus for everyone. So
Yeah. Yep.
when you look at the difference between what they all have and
I reckon it's going to be a
there's
game
no
of
easy
chess.
outs there.
I reckon that's going to be a game of chess. I reckon they're gonna like qualify here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can they play that? Can they
I think
play that chess?
I think Elite tried.
Yeah.
I got that impression. It's a gamble you got to take.
Yeah, that's
eh?
right. You thought there was going to be a bit of strategy in how they would qualify, didn't you? To try and pair up.
Well, look, I mean, it's good for Rick Hendrick as well. I mean, he got pantsed in NASCAR this year by Roger Penske, so he's.
You're going to get us cancelled.
But he took a pro stock win. So
He took a couple of wins this season and the championship.
Yeah, and the championship. So Rick will be happy about that, no doubt. Did you hear because I like to watch it at home at night time, and my wife was watching it as well, and she goes, "That's not his real voice, that guy."
Antron Brown.
And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "This is a meme or something." I said, well, "That's his voice." She goes, "That's not his voice." And I said, what do you think, Linda? I said, "What they got? These people got time to like." What's
wrong with his
trophy? He's getting his trophy. He's
got a real twang.
Yeah.
Twang going on.
She goes, I cannot believe that's the guy's voice. She thought it was a voiceover. Who would do that in the NHRA? Why would they do that? What would motivate them to give him a voiceover?
Do you know he's doing a bit of pro mod racing and a bit of radial racing?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. He's teamed up with Manny Bajinga.
Okay.
And his crew chief has bought a pro mod car.
Yeah.
Well, what's the the $1 million race that is held? And I always get a bit confused there. It's like Super Comp is their equivalent of modified or something, right? Or Super Dragster or something like that.
Well, there's a few.
And he comes out in there with Sean Langdon in his, and I've seen Spencer Massey in his,
and his son as well now.
Yeah, right.
His son actually won one of the big ones.
Antron Brown.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that his daughter recently did her licensing through Frank Hawley's driving school as well. So yeah, family.
Yeah, so I think the
through that.
son's got a. Now what you were saying about the classes.
Yeah,
so
I think is it Top
Gas,
Dragster or something?
Yeah, Top Dragster.
Yeah.
But they've got Super Gas, which is $990. Super Comp, which is $890. Top Comp, which is $790, and I can't remember what the $690 class is.
But it's cool to see because it's $1 million race. There's how many entrants would there be? It streams on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
we had our local previous competitor Shane Wynn. Most people know him as Pooh. He's competed in a
as
few
in Winnie
times.
the Pooh.
Yeah,
Winnie the Pooh, just
with the H. He's gone over and competed a few times, I believe. But you're watching along, and then it's like, and then you've got these big name races there.
Yeah, he runs in stock, I believe now, which is off the foot brake index, but it has a breakout.
Yeah, okay.
It's a weird,
yeah.
I'm not sure how it works because you got this weird formula where the engine has to more or less be stock. There's only certain things you can change.
Yeah.
And you've got this index, but you can't go, I think you can race heads up when you're racing your own type of, someone in your own class. I'm not sure how it works, but it's kind of a cross between super sedan and super stock.
Right.
It's a bit of a, I'm pretty sure that's what
but
he's doing.
But then he's in a dragster still?
I don't know. Sandro was telling me this when I was at SCM picking some oil up the other day. He said, Pooh's driving for this this other guy who runs a car in stock.
Right. I know that he's still got his own car there. He was over last season visiting, can't recall particularly which event it was, but came over and saw us in the pits, and it was good to catch up with him. He's been living over there for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, those big dollar events, they're pretty regular over there. Like there are people that just go from event to event to event.
Yeah.
And they don't that's their job is because when it gets down to 30 cars, that's when they start discussing splitting the pot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's around that sort of number, and
Yeah.
if you opt out and you win, you take home the whole pot. But if you opt out and you go out early, you don't get anything.
Yeah. Well, we often have a chuckle about Billy Torrance, just having his fun in Top Dragster, and then you're just, all right, well, this weekend I'll jump into the Top Fuel and run this event. But seeing quite a few big names, then going across into the smaller classes as well for that big prize money.
He prefers the bracket racing to driving a Top Fueler.
Yeah.
He gets that. They reckon anyone that goes to interview him, he just wants to talk about the bracket racing. He's not interested in the fuel car.
Yeah, I love it.
Fair enough. Hey, did I see right this morning as well? John Ricker, quickest and fastest door slammer ever.
Correct.
That was in testing, 5:37. Did I see that right?
Was it? Yes, I think it was a 37. Yes, you are correct.
Yep. Okay.
So that record was previously held with a screw blower, because there was a Pro Charger one, was previously held by John Zapier, I think at a 5:42.
Yeah. That was that black Camaro.
Correct, yes.
Yep. Oh, congratulations to John as well. All right, well, look, we'll move on to Supercars. Let's give the Supercars a wrap up. The season has ended in Adelaide, the Adelaide Velo 500. Is the talk of Stan now bidding for the TV rights just a way of jacking up the price for Seven and Foxtel? Do you reckon that's a narrative generated by Supercars to get them to get Seven and Foxtel to jack up the price, the asking price?
Isn't Stan part of Seven?
No, Stan is Channel 9.
9.
Is it?
9.
Yeah. So is that part of the strategy?
I don't know. I mean, you saw the photo I sent you, Stokesy, showing his loyalty to drag racing by promoting V8 Supercars and, of all things, the Camaro.
But do you think that they sometimes generate this thing with, let's just catch up for a coffee and they have a photographer just taking photos, and I reckon there's a bit of that going on there.
Does anyone watch it?
Because Stan isn't in a position to bid for it. Not to be rude, I just can't see them pulling it off.
Oh, you're saying Channel 9's going broke?
I'm not saying that. I just don't.
I think they're stepping. I
don't think they can do it justice. They couldn't even do the TCR. How are they going to do this anyway?
They did the Olympics.
Yeah,
you watched it.
I did. I watched Ray Gun.
So maybe they're trying to move into that main sports domain.
They used to have the best sports. We used to talk about this on the podcast all the time. The wide world of sports.
Wide world of sports.
It was the best.
Yeah. I even remember that.
Yeah.
And who was our favourite commentator, Nick?
Max Walker.
No.
Daryl Eastlake.
Okay, who was yours?
Daryl Eastlake. And it's another big...
Yeah, don't skip any closer than that. That's the famous John Zapier one, that one. Congratulations to Chaz Mostert on winning the Barry Sheen medal, the Drivers Award, the Drivers Driver Award, and the Jim Richards Award as well.
Would you want to win the Jim Richards Award?
Come on, no bit of that. Anyway, so
what does it say on it? Does it say you're all a pack?
Anyway. Did you say that was on actually the front bar the other night? They brought that up. Rising star was Aaron Cameron, who finished runner-up at this year's Dunlop Super 2 Series. And he also won the prestigious Mike Cable Young Gun Award. The late Wayne Kadich was inducted into the Supercars Hall of Fame. And speaking of Hall of Fame, Mark Scaife was inducted into the Australian
Speaking of Hall
I
of
just got a bit
Fames,
excited because I thought,
Yeah.
we didn't mention
Peter
it.
Pike.
Peter Pike.
Peter
You know, I saw
Pike.
Peter Friday night.
Peter
I
Pike
know.
was
I
inducted.
was so excited to see him,
Yeah.
and I was actually walking with Matt Jarvis. We were just heading in the same direction, and we spotted him. And I called out. I was like, Peter Pike, and then I thought, oh no, sorry, are you trying to be a bit inconspicuous? and then he was actually
Incognito.
wearing and he was actually wearing a Perth Motorplex T-shirt,
Yeah.
and then Matt Jarvis was like, "Does this mean you're?" And he's like, no.
Don't start any rumours. We'll get
Yeah.
cancelled.
But no, he was back there on Friday and Saturday. Had a really good chat to him on Saturday and inducted into the Hall of Fame for Perth Motorplex
Yep.
and number 4 for the Hall of Fame inductee.
Congratulations to
Yeah.
Peter. Yes, I saw him Friday night.
So
Did you
deserved.
talk to him?
Yeah, I did.
What's he doing?
Well, admittedly, I probably talked more about me. Surprise, surprise. It was so. So he finished up at the Perth Motorplex in 2012.
Yep.
Probably only saw him, a handful of times since then, and most of those prior to me having my time off in 2015. So I saw him, and he was really excited to see me, and spoke about my qualifying passes on Friday night, and I had Luna there with me, and of course, just how quickly time passes. But then when I was 18 when I started, and would have only been 21 when he finished, to now married to my competitor who I was racing against when he was the general manager, and having my 2 girls, my mini mechanics alongside me. There was a lot of talk about me, but I was super happy to see him, and he's awesome. I'm so glad that he's been recognised for the efforts, because he was working at the Motorplex prior to it opening. A lot of work done at Ravenswood also.
Yeah, and Andra, and
Yeah.
he's been involved in every
Yeah.
aspect of it.
So-
And he has a very soft spot for Altereds in particular.
I thought it was just me, but no.
in particular, your father-in-law's one.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but that's good. How can you not have a soft spot for Altereds? But he's always been so kind. He's always been so kind and encouraging for me, towards me, and has always kind of had high aspirations for my drag racing future, and which is I'm now living. But who would have thought that it would have played out the way that it has? But yeah, absolutely great to see him. I wish we could see more of him there, but just to share the love around, because
Careful.
everyone speaks very highly of Peter Pike.
Is this like the Mick Malthouse thing where they show Peter Pike and Gavin Migro having breakfast together?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
right.
What are they talking about? No, but look, we love Ray Treasure, and the races all petitioned to get him back, and so let's all petition to get Pikey to be alongside him, hey?
That would be great. And congratulations to Peter. Yes, I missed that off the notes. My apologies. Just following up after the closing of the Adelaide Velo 500. So Will Brown took the championship. He actually won it on the Saturday race, and then we were bored to death on Sunday with the amount of graphics that they showed. Yeah, and they were trying to say if we had implemented the new final series, this wouldn't have happened. The championship would still be wide open. It was so boring. It really was.
So, who's Will Brown?
Will Brown won the championship in the 888 car.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it's his first year there. Congratulations to him. But he won the championship the old school way, just by accumulating points, which is the way it needs to remain.
Oh,
But
so
anyway,
they want to have a...
there's a new final series starting next year in
Oh,
Supercars.
okay, like the
So
NASCAR.
then they presented
we spoke
this,
about this
yes.
last episode, yeah?
They presented this long-winded graphics to say that if we had the new system this year,
Did what's his name that does the...
Mark Larkham.
Mark Larkin? Yeah.
Neil Crompton.
Neil Crompton.
Yeah.
Did he come out with a board and
No, that was Mark Larkin was doing it. Yeah, that was so boring. It really was. Dunlop
the
team,
fuel strategies at Bathurst?
Yeah. That's they really got to stop doing that actually, because it does take away. I think we want an element of excitement left in the sport. Dunlop Team Championship was 888 Race Engineering. Dunlop 2 Series Championship was Zach Bates. Congratulations to him. And the Dunlop Super 3 Series Championship was Cody Bircher. So congratulations to him.
Hang on, before you go any further, I just want to read this line. This is in our notes. Nick to discuss the stupidity of stadium trucks.
Well, it was dumb. It was so stupid. It was stupid to see. And look, I mean, I'm going to be quite serious here at the at this stage. That the second one that capitulated and destroyed itself and sent a fuel cell racing across the track.
Oh God,
on
we're still
fire.
talking about this, are we?
It's just stupid.
Didn't we cover this last?
No, we didn't. We haven't recorded since then.
No.
It was on our group chat. It was dumb. It really is stupid. These trucks are designed for either in-stadium events where they're racing on soft sand and they don't build up, dirt. They don't build up speed, or barger, whatever you want to call them.
I wouldn't say they don't build up speed
In a stadium environment, they don't build up the speed that they do in these sort of in.
I can tell you these
environments.
things go 230, 240 kilometres an hour when they're racing.
Yeah.
In their off-road environment,
Yeah,
in their
the
natural
off-road-
habitat.
Yeah, in their natural habitat. But in a stadium environment, it's probably okay as well. But on a street circuit with concrete, it's just dumb. It really was. That first one, when it landed, it broke the front. I don't know if it was the hub that broke, the strut that broke. I don't know. I don't care really. But
Maybe we could have a drag race as a.
Well, that you know what I mean.
Some entertainment.
This would never. This would not pass the pub test. If you had, a fuel cell in a drag car,
Oh my God.
flying across the track on fire, the track would be shut down indefinitely.
I don't know about that, but I'll tell you what, if Bailey was still around, you wouldn't be racing again.
You'd never race
It was
again.
very close.
You would never ever race again. It was dumb.
And-
it was dumb.
And I'm not sure if I'm right here because I didn't watch this race, but did they have some speedway, some sprint cars intertwined with this event?
Inside track, they had a temporary speedway circuit as well. which was-
temporary.
yeah.
Those
There's a bit of damage
fences.
there. Yeah.
we've seen fences damaged at Perth Motorplex and at Bunbury Speedway, and I wouldn't have wanted to come close to those fences because temporary is the right word to be using there. And if I'm not sure where the stadium trucks, I did see some footage and photos. I'm not sure exactly where they were running, but they were very close to the fence line and to the crowd. So it is risky.
It's just that even the speedway. Some of the feedback was that it wasn't. It was a bit dodgy. And like I mean, I don't understand. This is our premium sport.
Listen, it's fine. It's because what is it, the double SAA or whatever.
No, it would have been sanctioned by MA. This would have been an MA.
Do you think
event.
so? Really?
Yeah, 100%.
They're taking risks now.
This was an MA. Look, I don't know who signed off on the stadium trucks. I guarantee you, we're never going to see those things again.
Well, that's what you wanted.
Look, I liked the philosophy of them, but in a circuit, a street circuit like this is just stupid. It's dumb. Especially when that first one landed, you could see it just tore the whole front end out of the car. It's like, guys, I mean, you're jumping these things, at least, I don't know how high up into the air. They're probably getting a good 4 or 5 meters into the air, coming down.
Of course they're going to.
Yeah, at a great rate of knots, straight onto bitumen. What do we expect? What do they think? It's like the Fall Guy, Colt Sievers, in his GMC. It was dumb. It really was. When I was watching it,
maybe.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I was thinking this just looks stupid. Anyway, let's move on. Supercar movements for next year. So Richie Stanaway is out of Grove, and in comes Kai Allen for him. Anton Di Pasquale leaves DJR. Brody Kostecki will be replacing him. Brody Kostecki's departure from Erebus means Cooper Murray. Great to see Cooper Murray get a drive. replaces him at Erebus. Richie Stanaway replaces Tim Slade at Premier Racing. Anton Di Pasquale replaces Mark Winterbottom at Team 18. And we heard this week Mark Winterbottom is off to Tickford Racing for the Enduros. So congratulations to him. And that's our wrap of Supercars. We'll hopefully next year.
Good to see Brody in a Ford.
Yeah, can't wait for that. That's awesome. I cannot wait. It'll be great.
I got to say, I saw a comment floating around on social media over the weekend, and I was going to screenshot and send it to you, Simon, in particular, because I know that you've spoken a lot about it.
Was it the MAGA one? Make elbow go away.
It was about the someone had made the comment about how the teenagers or the young kids need to put their phones down, and they're saying that not enough, of the younger generation, I suppose, were tuning in and watching the Supercars. And someone put a comment on there saying they don't resonate with Camaros and Mustangs. Yeah. They resonated with the sport because of the Commodores and the Falcons. But then they said, we need to get some Skylines in there.
I'm thinking.
So they've gone
Hiluxes.
That's the part where then I thought, oh no, now you've lost Simon. I agree. Like if you want to go the way that the kids seem to be, or the P-platers are buying nowadays, you want to be more having a off-road race.
You need
with their 4x4s.
You need to get all of these and just go put them on the market for sports sedan, right? Or classes like that, and go the touring car. We've already got the series happening. Just the production car racing.
Yeah.
And that's where it started.
I just
and
thought
then, when they all whinge about, I need a Bridgeport and I need a 750 or whatever, like they used to in the old days, then let it develop into what Group C was. But you need to get that core back. And for as long as you're racing cars that they can't relate to, that their parents don't drive, they're not going to care.
Yeah. I thought that comment aligned quite closely to what you'd been commenting on.
I agree. The Skyline bit isn't it funny how the world we had Skylines in the 90s, early 90s, and we booed them at Bathurst in 92, and then Richo called us a pack of arseholes.
Yeah, but hang on, we didn't boo them because they were Skylines. We booed them because they went back a lap.
But that's the rule. Red flag, that's the rule.
It was a stupid rule.
It's still in place now. The rule is in place now to this very day. It was back then, it still is now.
But shouldn't they have a provision in the rule that says that the car needs to be able to make it back to the pits under its own power?
Well, this is what I argue with that, right? We don't want to talk 92 again, but let's bring it up. This is the thing with that. I believe
you were one. Holy.
I believe that incident, Jim Richards going out of the race, actually brought out the red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's coming down, the front end's torn out of the car, right? He's got no control over the car at this stage. He has no control.
And it ends up in a car park.
Yeah, and he slides off, so he's going down, he's come out of Forest Elbow. I'm not sure where the incident happened. It's never been caught on video.
No.
And then he's crashed into a whole lot of other cars.
Yeah.
And that's when the red flag is deployed.
And Dick Johnson
is leading the race.
Yeah, but he just casually drives around them all and carries on.
Yeah. But the red flag rule dictates that you take the results from the lap before. My argument in the day was because when I went to school the next day, that's it, I copped it, Ford lost again, you can't handle it, you didn't win, the Nissan won, everyone liked the commission. My argument was that that's his incident was the one that brought out the red flag.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely it was.
But, yeah, it just doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
It's a stupid rule. They should at least, if they're going to say, we're going to go off the lap before, then it should say, but the cars need to be able to make it back to the pits under their own power.
Yep. Yeah, and that certainly wasn't the case with Jim Richards' Skyline. Mark Scave Skyline.
Anyway.
Sorry for the profanities there, by the way. I need to edit that out.
You have to bleep them.
Yep.
Jorge Martin.
Jorge Martin, look, I mean, it was probably not the most exciting race. He only had to finish, I think it was third, and he did that quite easily.
So this is the champion of the Ducati Cup.
Yes.
Is that what it's called now?
Pretty much. But look, I mean, if we look back during the season, I think even in Bagnaio's own words, how costly was his crash in Malaysia? I think it was, it was always a big ask for him to win after that. So congratulations to Jorge Martin. What did you think of the celebration? This celebration they do for the championship now is really getting lame. I don't know,
Nick, when it's back on free to air, I'll tell you.
So basically, he went into this big box, and it was like they played the Terminator music. So it was a big box and it had Martinator on it. Did you see it?
No, I'm just...
So the race is finished, and now this has been the last few years.
What is it, like
celebration.
the Pope's car? They drive him around the track.
No, he stops halfway, gets into this big box.
Just himself or his bike as well?
No, it was really weird. It's probably awkward.
I feel like it's going to start blowing up money, like $100 notes or something.
So he gets
to take as much as you can grab.
Anyway, he gets into a box. And then, like, the music's playing and the smoke machine wasn't working very well. There's like literally a wisp of smoke coming out underneath.
Where was this, in Jamaica or something?
No, it was at the final race. And then finally, the front comes down and he's wearing a mask, the Terminator mask. So it's half his face and half the robot face.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's the Martinator.
Yeah.
And he walks out and there's a big glass thing. And then he puts his arm up and he shoots it and the glass thing breaks and in there is his helmet and he walks over there and gets the helmet. I don't know.
This was at the end of the race.
Yeah.
So
it's like halfway on this route.
Clearly all planned.
Yeah.
But by his team?
Who
No, I think it's done by
was...
MotoGP because this has been an ongoing thing now.
Yeah, but, Rossi was the original where he'd have the bowling pins and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, so it's grown out of that. It's
okay.
morphed out of, so it's...
But Rossi used to do it, like it was him and he had this like group of guys. They had a name for him too, didn't they? His fan club?
Yeah.
That used to follow him every race and they'd get dressed up and do all these crazy things. But it was entertaining. But now it sounds like it's a bit of theatre.
I feel like it's, is it going to get teamed up with another Terminator release or Mattel's there doing a snapshot ready to release
I'm not coming back.
He is not coming back. He won't be coming back to Ducati. He's actually off to Aprilia. As we know.
Yes.
So Ducati next year, the lineup next year, Ducati is Pecco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez. KTM is Pedro Costa and Brad Binder. Aprilia will be Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi. Yamaha is Fabio Quartararo and Alex Rins. Honda is Luca Marini and Johan Mir. VR46 is Fabio Gianantonio. And Franco Morbidelli. Gresini Ducati is Alex Marquez and Fermin Aiguira. Sorry if I pronounced it. Aldiger. Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds... I think you nailed it.
German? Maybe?
Tech 3 KTM is Anye Bastianini and Maverick Vinales. Trackhouse Aprilia is Raul Fernandez and Agura. Pramac Yamaha is Miguel Oliveira and Jack Miller, and the LCR Honda is Johan Zarco and Somikat Kantra.
This is how long it's been since I followed it. Pramacs with Yamaha?
That's new for next year.
Oh, okay.
So they're Ducati. It's like one of the longest relationships that have just broken. The Yamaha, the Pramac and Ducati. Going to Yamaha next year. So,
okay. Yep. And Tech 3, KTM?
Tech 3 KTM, yep.
Yeah, it wasn't Tech 3 Yamaha before?
Yeah, they've changed as well. Yes,
wow.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So this is some of the changing faces.
It's funny because Miller started with Pramac, if you remember.
That's right.
So he's gone full circle.
He has. Yeah.
Is he going to, sort of quit, do you think?
I thought he was going to quit this year, to be honest, but it hasn't happened. He managed to get it right again, so congratulations.
And where's God, I've forgotten his name now. What's the name's son? Gardner.
Oh, Gardner.
Yeah.
He hasn't got a ride for next year.
Is he
Hasn't
Moto
been able to-
2?
I think he's Moto 2, yeah, but he
Yeah.
hasn't been able to secure a ride either.
But he's tried, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
How'd he
Yeah.
go?
He
No,
did all
wow.
right. He did okay. He was supposed to get a ride even for this year.
I just love that he's a smart ass.
Yeah.
He's funny.
It was supposed to get a ride this year, but it hasn't
happen.
eventuated. Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, Vegas.
We've only got 12 minutes left. Because I've only got the studio booked to 10. All right, Formula One. Yeah, we're not going to go through the last. We'll just quickly do Formula One, and then that be it. All right, Formula One from Las Vegas. George Russell has won the Las Vegas Grand Prix, but it wasn't enough to stop Max Verstappen winning the championship. All he needed was a fifth. You're the only one cheering. He only needed to finish fifth, and he needed to finish basically ahead of Lando Norris to wrap it up. There's still 2 more races to go. Still got to go to Qatar, and then we still got to go to Abu Dhabi. So
That's it. He's done it.
he's wrapped it up. Yeah, championship's been won. So it's an interesting. It was a pretty boring. It was 2:00 in the afternoon yesterday. It was
I don't
really
mind.
Weird. It was 10:00 Vegas time at night. Well, I don't get it.
I don't mind
Wow.
George Russell, but
I guess it's Vegas.
anything to stop the Mercedes from winning is all I care about.
But the thing, like 10:00 at night in Vegas it's 2 a.m. or what is it, 1 a.m. in New York on the Eastern Seaboard. It's really, if you're building the sport in the US, it's not the time I would have done it.
I guess are they looking at the time of
Europe.
people
Europe,
watching
yeah, it
on
was
TV, or the time of people actually being?
It was in the morning
there
for Europe, so, and China would have been roughly the same time as us. Kind of strange.
You think
my
China
opinion.
cares about Formula One?
Well, they're trying to build it there, Simon. So yeah.
Vegas, it's it's best seen at night. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
Crowd
it'd be too
crowd
hot
seemed
during the
pretty-
day.
Crowd was it was cold last night. It was freezing, freezing there.
It does. It gets very cold at night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They did that weird thing again where they all get in Rolls Royces. So this is another thing they do at Vegas. So they finish the race, they get out of their cars, they get into Rolls Royces, and they drive around to the Bellagio and do the podium presentation at the Bellagio.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
Okay.
Strange.
it's awkward TV, but because
Yeah.
they have a camera crew inside the car.
So you know how they're trying to build it up
Oh.
in China? Did they have it at the Uyghur concentration camps? Did they have it?
So much editing to do tonight. So George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz all jammed inside a Rolls Royce, and Max Verstappen went on his own with someone from his team.
Sounds appropriate.
So what was the in-car footage like then?
It's just awkward. It's like they're not really talking, and they're sort of, because they're all sitting in the seat together in a Rolls Royce. They're like,
They've got more
Lewis
room
is
in
like
there.
sort of forward, and George Russell sitting back, and it's really awkward. And
No
Carlos is
small
kind of
chat?
no, not really, not a lot. No, so it was. I don't know. They did that last year, and I thought, geez, that looks strange, and they did it again this year. So, yeah, it's kind of weird if you ask me.
Yeah, I reckon if they were to do something like that, put them in the car with one of their own like team members, so they could at least have a little celebration or something and a bit of chatter in the car.
But you know what you were
Otherwise, it's
talking about
just-
earlier about how this is a thing with drag racing where you're at the finish line by yourself
Yeah,
and the team's on the start line.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
It is unique.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, I know. It is.
I
it is a bit
celebrate.
weird.
I celebrate with the fire crew and and the end of staff crew. And they come to me. They're the first ones that I give hugs and high fives to.
No, that's.
When they hand over the water to you, you got something stronger?
I don't think
get an
Phoebe's
olive
old
with that.
enough to serve me alcohol down the bottom end. No.
Hey, before we finish up this recording, I just want to mention the Drag Bike Nationals from the Bend. Big congratulations to Damien Muscat for breaking the records. Absolutely
And his collarbone.
Absolutely smashing it. Over 580.
You know that's the quickest that bike has ever been
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
And who tunes it?
I don't know.
Oh. I'll leave that till next episode then.
Okay. All right. 394 kilometres an hour. Congratulations to Damien. That is amazing. That is scary quick on a bike. Just close off the show. Christmas pageant, SummerSlam at the Motorplex, all happening on the same night, December 7th. Do not miss episode 200 with Brody Zapier at the Odin Tavern Bar and Grill.
Get your tickets now.
Tickets. Go to our website, go to our Facebook page. If you're not sure, just message us and I can point you to the link there. Tickets are free, but get your tickets. That secures your spot there. In episode 204, we've got the guys from Beers coming in as well in their Holden Rodeo Ute. They are coming in for an interview. Looking forward to that as well. So we've got lots coming up.
Fabulous. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing the live show. Just remember, Simon, there'll be no edits.
No edits. No.
Nick Doyle was swearing tonight.
Yeah, I know. Go back and do a bit of editing tonight.
Got all emotional about 92.
Yeah,
it's a rough year.
It is a rough year. I just.
It was a rough year.
I was still at high
I was just
school.
Waking up so many times during the night, needing a bottle, and wondering where I've gone.
I was in year 12 at high school.
Jesus,
I had my driver's license and I was a big Ford man. I was going to school and everyone was giving me crap and saying, Nissan Skyline's one and this and that. And, your Ford Sierras, they're crap anyway. No one likes them. And, I didn't
Meanwhile,
have much.
I'm fresh out of the womb. I should take this opportunity to say a big thank you to my husband, Trent Morrison, and a happy 7-year wedding anniversary.
I still can't believe
My
that.
apologies, Trent. I had no idea it was your wedding anniversary. Had I known, we would have rescheduled.
I
tonight.
thought we were just aligning our podcast recordings for on our celebrating days with Simon's birthday last time and now my wedding anniversary. But no, it was my mistake. I didn't forget when our wedding anniversary was. I just didn't look what day it was. So committed to recording, didn't say a word, and I've come straight from
You better
our dinner.
write that into your Ryco calendar for next year.
Yes.
Do not book studio.
No, I won't. I won't.
I think I should take responsibility to make sure that I know where my priorities are. But I also have a very understanding husband who will be fast asleep by the time I get home.
Fair enough. All right. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Simon. Congratulations on that. That is awesome. I'm pointing to the gold Christmas tree. That is an awesome effort.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I've never noticed this before, but the bottom looks like a rotor.
Yeah, it does, eh?
Yeah. Okay. We might need to change that.
Peter Glover pointed out to me on the weekend that their car was the only rotary at the event.
Buckley was, but he broke the transmission.
Yeah.
Well, just to let you know, the championship one, the base is square.
Okay. There you go.
There you
It's good to know. All right. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Take care. See ya.
Yeah.